What's going on today, YouTube? Today I'm going to be going over some Chatterbox TTS stuff and how you can use it without a GPU. And I'll also go over how you can use it locally, but we've got it popped up on the screen here. And I just want to show you how it sounds. I've got a few models here that I've trained that I will be releasing to my members on the channel. I've got this Japanese model and this French model. And the inference I'm going to do is all being done on the cloud via Beam. And that's what I'm going to show today, how you can use it without a GPU. But let's go ahead and listen to it. So we've got French, English, and then German all in one sentence. And we're going to do 3 different examples here, where the next one is German, French, then English, and then English, German, French. So I am going to generate and play for all 3 of those. So give it a moment, and then here we are.
Je parle français ici, but I can also show the model can do English, mit etwas Deutsch ebenfalls. Ich spreche hier Französisch, mais je peux aussi montrer que le modèle peut utiliser l'anglais, with some German as well. I am speaking in French here, aber ich kann auch zeigen, dass das Modell Englisch kann, avec un peu d'allemand aussi.
So there are those 3 samples, I'm going to show it also with Japanese. And this one's going to be a little bit different of a demo. This one's going to have like this language conversion in here. So what I found out as well is you can induce accents or you can reduce accents with Chatterbox TTS. So let me go ahead and load up a new one. I have a Japanese voice here. And I'm going to, let's say, generate on this sentence without any conversion, and we'll take a listen to that. So let me load this new model inside of Beam, and then we'll be back. Right, so let's take a listen without any conversion. This is a Japanese voice with the English sentence.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
Cool, so there it is. Now that one did sound relatively good, but I'm going to enable the language conversion, and we can even enhance it to have a more Japanese accent. So I'm going to push it to 2, and then I'm going to do the flip where I convert it from having the Japanese accent to be a little bit more native English sounding.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
So there's that, and let me go ahead and just change this to be the opposite effect.
My younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
So there we go. We can reduce the accent or we can increase the accent. And so this was a little thing that I found out with Chatterbox TTS. Still relatively new, and I'm still investigating it. So can't make any generalized conclusions. But yeah, I'm going to show how you can get this up and running. Even if you don't have a GPU, that's going to be the main focus of today's video, is using this in the cloud via Beam. Oh, also, I forgot to show this in Japanese itself. So here we have Japanese. We're going to generate the sample here, and well, I'll do it with a Japanese voice, and I'll do it with mine. So here it is.
硬い地べたの感触を顔面に味わい、彼は自分が打つ伏せに倒れたのだと気づいた。
And then, of course, I can also just do it in my voice here and regenerate the sentence, and it'll be me speaking in Japanese, though it doesn't really sound like me in my opinion, but yeah.
硬い地べたの感触を顔面に味わい、彼は自分が打つ伏せに倒れたのだと気づいた。
So yeah, it speaks Japanese too. There are a little bit of issues sometimes with it. It's not always perfect. I mean, these are not production grade models, but and Beam is today's video sponsor, so that's why I'm going to be showing it. But I think it's a wonderful service that you're able to use from your computer because you don't need any of the hardware locally, and the pricing is relatively fair in my opinion. So yeah. Let's go ahead and get this set up. You're going to need a few accounts to make sure everything works smoothly here. So the first thing that you're going to need is a Hugging Face account. So head on over into Hugging Face and make sure you make an account because we're going to need some tokens from Hugging Face in order to download some of these like Chatterbox TTS models. And then you're going to need a GitHub account. So GitHub is where we host all of the code, stuff like that. So get a GitHub account, sign up for GitHub, and then you're going to be able to then sign up for Beam because Beam requires a GitHub account. So yeah, on Beam, you'll just go to the Get Started, and we're going to continue with GitHub. So let me log in real quick. And this is going to be the dashboard here. So once you're here and logged in, we'll we'll continue with the next steps after we get the repository downloaded and everything like that. But first off, if you're a member of the channel, you're going to be getting access to a packaged version of this. So if you don't want to do the GitHub stuff, I've put a post in the members only area of my channel at the packages tier for those who want to just download a package. So I've got a post here for you guys. And then if you're a member, just a general member of the channel, you also get access to those Japanese English and French English German models that I've gone ahead and trained up there. I wouldn't say they're production ready, but they can definitely do the languages. Well, I can't really gauge French and German, unfortunately, but yes, they can speak the languages, and those are going to be available to the members on my channel. So let me show how you can get it set up if you have the Chatterbox package. So head over into any file explorer, and let's say that you finished downloading it. It's going to be relatively big, about 12 gigs. You're just going to right click it, extract all, and that's going to give you a Chatterbox folder that you can go into. Double click into it and then double click into Chatterbox, and that's going to bring you to this folder with all of the stuff that you need into here. So we are going to download another thing in here for your environment for your computer, and that's going to be UV. UV is a Python package manager that makes life much easier. So we're just going to click on download uv.bat, and this is going to download UV into your computer, and then it's also going to download Python 3.11.11. So we are going to finish that, and then we'll be able to launch everything with these batch commands. So launch GUI.bat is going to launch it without Beam, but because we want to use Beam today, we are going to do launch _ GUI _ beam.bat. So yeah, that's all you really need for the packaged version. So now let's go ahead and jump into the manual installation. And for that, you're going to need a few things on your computer. I really recommend that you get Python 3.11.11 on your computer or 3.11.9. Either one will work. And then we are also going to use UV, and then you're going to need Git on your computer too. So real quick, we're going to clone this repository. So saying that you have Git on your computer, we can clone the repo. So navigate into any file browser. I'm just going to type in cmd into the address bar here, and that's going to bring up a terminal. So now I can do git clone this repository, and it's going to clone that repo into where I have it, and then we can do cd chatterbox, and then we could technically run those batch scripts that I have from earlier, but I'm just going to break down what's inside of those batch scripts from the packaged version. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go into this docs for UV. We're going to get UV from here, and then I'm going to paste that into here. So win-get install id astral UV. So I already did that, so we've got it. And then we're going to close out of this. We got UV installed now, and then we're going to reopen it back up. Let's go into Chatterbox, do cmd. So the reason we're doing that is just to make sure that we can see UV inside of our terminal. And then once we have this, we're going to do UV Python install 3.11.11. So that's going to get Python 3.11.11 installed on your computer. And then all we need to do is UV sync, and that's going to resolve the and that's going to get all of the packages that we need for UV. So I'm actually in the wrong folder, so let me change that real quick, and let me do cmd into here. So let's just rerun that UV sync, and there we go. So it's going to say that it's building a virtual environment.venv. It's going to build all of the stuff that we need, and then normally we would be all good to go. But today I'm going to be demonstrating it with Beam, like I said, so we're going to need to add an additional package. And to do that, let me clear this. To do that, we are going to do UV sync --extra beam. And so that's going to install the additional beam command or the additional beam library that we need. to do inference today. And now you can also launch it with either of these batch scripts, depending on what service you want to run. It doesn't really change anything in the graphical user interface, just what packages are available. So yeah, we are going to use Beam, and that is all you need to have set up. And we'll now just need to set up some environment stuff so we can get things downloaded. So go ahead and head over into Hugging Face, and we're gonna go into your account. So go to your profile, go into your access tokens area, and so that's gonna bring us into this access tokens area with all of our different API tokens. And so what we need is a new one. So we're gonna do create new token. I'm just gonna create read, and then I'm gonna call this test test beam. So I'm gonna create this token. It's going to give me this token where I can now copy it. Make sure you copy it and don't lose it. And then we are going to set that up for our environment. So go ahead and go back into that file browser, type cmd into the address bar, and then what we'll need to do is uv run Hugging Face CLI, and then log in. So what this is going to do, it's going to bring up an area where we can log in with Hugging Face, and then we can simply just right click into here and click enter, and I'm gonna do yes for that, and then it's going to save it into my Hugging Face stored tokens area, and we should be good to go. So just do that each time in case you delete the API token. I will be deleting that API token after the video so that you guys cannot use it. And yeah, we'll go ahead and exit out of that. And then we'll also need one more thing. That's going to be the Beam API token too. So head on over into settings of Beam, head to API keys, and then you can create a new key. So I'm going to create a new one, create, and then I'm going to use it. So we've got this copy button here, and so go ahead and copy it. So we'll be using it in this next step. So once you have everything set up, I'm actually going to be doing this from the packaged version because I have some models in there that I want to use. We can now go into launch_GUI.beam.bat. So what this is going to do is it's going to ask us for a Beam token, and that's going to be the token that we just copied. And then that'll pretty much set us up for everything that we're going to need in order to run all of this stuff here. So you'll see this here. We'll go ahead and paste that token in there. I'm also going to be deleting this token after the video too. So yeah. Now what I'm getting here is I already have Chatterbox opened up in a different window. So I actually just need to close that first, and then I'm going to rerun that command. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. So closed all of those. And so if you have two instances of it open, you'll get that error. So now that we've closed out of all the Chatterbox instances, we should just be able to launch here without any issue. Okay, cool. So there we go. You can see we've got running on local URL. So I'm going to left click control on my keyboard and then left click the address, and it's going to bring us to this interface here. Cool. So we've got everything that we need. Now we just need to set up Chatterbox with the models. So no Chatterbox models have been loaded into Beam yet, and so we'll need to do that. So head back on over into the File Explorer, type cmd into the address bar here, and then we'll need to upload some of those models into Beam so that we can inference on them. So if we want to do the default models, which we are going to do just so that you can use Chatterbox without my custom trained models if you're not a member of the channel, we'll just do uv run, and then we're going to do download Hugging Face repo.py. So I'm just using tab for completion there, so it pulls the file that we're going to run, and then we are going to type in 2, then enter for Beam. So what this is going to do is it's going to grab the base Chatterbox TTS models and upload them into Beam. And so if we actually go into, so here we can see it's fetching the models. If we go into Beam, you can see everything that you have stored inside of the storage area. So the path that I set up for this project is chatterbox-project, and it's going to put it inside of chatterbox_weights. So here are all of the weights already downloaded, and that's where it's going to set it up for you guys on your Beam instances. And then we'll take a look to see if it's completed. So yeah, the function has finished completing, and all of those files will have been uploaded into Beam. So that is pretty cool. And then now, if you have any custom model that you want to upload into Beam as well, for example, if you've got that French-German one or that Japanese one, then all you're going to need to do is select it in the Gradio interface, then click on Get Upload Command, and then that's going to create a command that you can copy and paste into the terminal. But I already have this uploaded into Beam, so it says no upload needed. But what it's going to do is, I actually just ran one. What it's going to do is you've got this command here that you're going to copy and paste, and then it's going to upload it. So here you can see I just uploaded the French and German model into Beam, and we can see that it is located at storage T3_models, and here are all of the models that I have available. So yeah, that is how you can get the base models installed into Beam or downloaded into Beam, and that's how you can get custom models downloaded into Beam. So for the other stuff like tokenizers, we don't need to actually download those into Beam or upload those into Beam, because what we're doing when we create an endpoint is we are uploading certain files already into Beam itself. And so I'm also doing that with the voices file, so I don't need to upload any voices into Beam, so that, yeah, pretty much all we need to do is just upload the T3 models into Beam, because those are much larger. We've got everything set up for Beam. We've got models in there, and we've got our interface, all of the tokens set up, and we should be good to go. So after that setup process, let's select the French-German model for tokenizer. Let's go ahead and select the French and German JSON, and then device CUDA. For voices, what you would do is just put any 5 to 10 second voice file or audio file into this folder called voices. If you have the package version, I've included a voice of me in there, so you can put anything in here and it should be fine. And then for a text input, we are going to just put in anything. And you might be wondering why this Gradio interface looks a little bit different from what I showed in the beginning of the video. That's because I made some changes to how it looks just before I started recording. So yeah, that text box is up here. Normalize Japanese, hiragana, redact, bracketed text. We can go ahead and leave those at default. And then we'll leave inference parameters at default as well. And then to use Beam, we need to select the checkbox where it says use Beam. And then we need to click launch Beam deployment. But I already have one. So what's going to happen is it's going to tell me that we found an active deployment. And so what I need to do is just click on recreate deployment. So what this is going to do is it's going to deploy an app via Beam that you can access via an API call, which is how we are able to use it from this local Gradio interface. So it's going to load the models on Beam, do all of the heavy lifting on the cloud, and then it's going to return us an audio file once it finishes with that. So here we can see that it finished up. So this is going to be our deployment here. And then I'm going to click on start log stream. So it's going to show us what's happening inside of the container. And we've got everything set up that we need. And we can just now click on generate speech. So we're going to give it a few minutes to boot up the container, get everything going, and then it's going to be able to start doing inference. All right, so there we go. Now we've got, the audio file has been returned back to our interface, and we can listen to it. So let's take a quick listen.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
And so there we go. That is generation done all on the cloud, and we didn't need to use any local GPU for that at all. So So I realized I had this enable language conversions checkbox on. I'm just going to turn it off because it doesn't actually work for the French, English, German model. And yeah, this will work for any other model in here. It'll work for Japanese. And so this is pretty cool. Now, you can also set this up with different GPUs from Beam. So if you go to their pricing, you can see what type of GPUs are available. They also have other ones, but you'd have to reach out to them. So they got like H100s, A100s, A10Gs, 4090s, and then T4. And the T4 is what we are using because it's more than sufficient to do any type of generation on here. And the T4 is 50 cents per hour. And we're not even using that at all. For example, if I go to usage for Beam, I have barely used like 10 cents, and I've been generating a decent amount for testing a little bit earlier before the video. So yeah, they give you $15 worth of credits when you sign up for this, so you'll have quite a bit of leeway before you need to load back up if you'd like to continue using this service. But if you want to change what type of GPU, what type of container that you're using for the environment, I have a file that you need to go to set that up. So what you'll do is go into the beam_config.yaml file, and you can change what settings you have here. So if you want 16 gigabytes of RAM, you can. I'm going to leave it at 1 or 8. And then if you want more than one CPU, you could do like 2, but 1 is more than sufficient. And then GPU, do like a H100. You could change that, but I'm gonna leave it at T4. And once you do that, you need to recreate your deployment. So you would go into the deployment management area, recreate deployment, and then you can now use it with that different GPU. So yeah, you can manage everything and see what's happening inside of the dashboard for Beam. So we went to this Chatterbox inference area. I could see all of the stuff that's being ran on there. So everything could be managed here in Beam. They even have their own little explore area where you can use different models that they've already set up in containers. But I think it's a very nice service that you can use, because even I have a 4090 GPU locally, but I needed to outsource some training for those Japanese models, for the French, English, German models into Beam. So I used H100s just to make things faster, just because time is money, and I didn't want my room at freaking 100 degrees in summer. So yeah, that is pretty much it for Beam and how you can get it running on Chatterbox running. This can also be generalized to many other projects as well. You just need to know how to set up Beam in those with those inference engines. So if you would like a tutorial on how to actually use Beam as a developer, let me know and I can think of something for that. Yeah, let me go ahead and close out of this instance, and then I'm going to show you real quick on how you can run this if you don't want to set anything up with Beam. It's going to be exactly the same as what I just went over, but instead, what you're going to do instead is just launch, just do the launch_GUI.bat. So that's this one right here. So all I'm doing instead here is just removing the Beam library from our local VENV virtual environment and just launching the graphical user interface. So that's going to disable any Beam functionality inside of the code, and we won't be able to use it. So if I go ahead and refresh this page, and we've got it here. If I try to use like get upload command, I'll get like error. If I launch Beam deployment, I'll get errors. So none of this Beam stuff works, but everything locally does. So we could select the same French model, the use CUDA, voices, all of these things, and we could re-inference on that too. Oh, and I actually forgot to show you guys all one more thing, and that is this use default models checkbox. So what we did earlier was that we downloaded the base Chatterbox TTS models into Beam. This also applies to if you're running it locally. You just select this use default models checkbox, and that's going to allow you to use the base TTS model. Make sure if you're using custom models, that you have this turned off, or else it's going to use the base model instead. So we can just go ahead and turn that on. Select this for a sentence, use Beam, launch the Beam deployment, and then start log stream, and then start generating the sentence. And here we are with the audio.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
So there you go. That is how you can use the base model. And yeah, this is the project. I think I'm still doing some things with Chatterbox TTS, so this might see some changes if you've got the GitHub version of it. But yeah, so that is how you can do it with and without a GPU. And yeah, just thanks to Beam for sponsoring the video. I've had a good time using Beam and learning how to use Beam. It's going to be a very helpful tool to use for training models, and I think it's going to be pretty nice. So yeah, once again, if you're a member of the channel, very much also appreciate your support in helping me continue running. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. So I'll see you guys later.